why we're actually working as hard as we are, to be honest with you.
Hey, for that 1 or 2 people that are actually watching us.
I don't even think it's 2.
There's got to be 2.
I think it's like half a person. Like their foot's in, like sometimes they're watching what we're doing, whatever. So just a little update. You got DumbFans here. You got Harp, Amroad, doing some new digs, trying some new things out here. Some more aesthetically pleasing stuff for you guys' viewership here. We appreciate any likes, subscribe, and a follow for our content. Looking to get on Spotify sometime here soon as well, guys. You can find us on YouTube and Instagrams. So that's pretty good. Let us know your thoughts if you're liking all this stuff. If you don't like it, let us know anyway. Okay? Just tell us what you like, don't like.
Just comment.
Just say something. That'd be really, really nice. So it's draft day. We've already posted on the first video here. We're now talking about, we're now going into the round here. First round here, we're going into the picks 10 to 30 to 32. So at this point, we'll update you on anything that's changed here from our last video. The Islanders have taken Malte Gustafsson, 6'5" defenseman from Sweden. I think playing along with a guy like Schaefer might be really interesting, but I don't know if he's going to make this team right away.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean, having that big of a guy from, it's good to have a big defenseman like that on your team.
Well, good, big, and can skate.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look how much bigger he is than Schaefer.
A tall guy there, absolutely tall. We'll have the TV on for any background noise when it's notable, guys. But in the meantime, let's talk about the week leading up to. There's been a lot of trades, a lot more trades than I think I've ever seen from NHL teams leading up to a draft.
Yeah, it's been crazy week. Good. I mean, it's entertaining. I like this. It's kind of like the NBA, where NBA get those big name guys going places like actually a big NBA trade went to Miami, got Giannis. Yeah, that was crazy. But
do you like that though? Do you like movement, like this much movement in the NHL?
I do like it. I mean, with the salary cap going up, I could see this happening more often in the future. And now with like big names moving, like just this past week, Brady Tkachuk going to Florida.
Yeah. So
I mean, there's
that's the most notable one. There's been a few others, but let's talk with Brady Tkachuk for. Like, I feel like that no one should be surprised. I feel like
there was definitely no tampering going on there.
Oh, 100% no tampering, because everybody plays on the up and up in the major leagues. Of course, why would there be? Awful trade for Florida.
Awful trade for Florida.
Awful trade for Florida. They have other needs. They don't need another top 6 winger. I want to concur with Steven's text here. Send me a text here. Maybe it is family, but it seems like the significant other's hair is always blonde. We're watching on the draft here. It's quite funny.
I like this trade for Florida. They've got now a line that's probably the most annoying line in hockey. You got Bennett, you got Marchand. I don't know if they're going to play together, but even if you split these guys up, now you got Brady Tkachuk and you got Matthew Tkachuk. That's who wants to play against that team in the playoffs? That's a playoff-built team. And now you're going to get Barkov back, who's going to be a healthy Barkov. I think this is great for Florida to win now.
They need another top 4D. They need a goalie because they're not going to re-sign Bobrovsky. So what do they do there? Like, you've now committed so much of your cap to the top-heavy top 6 to a player who honestly is kind of mid, man. He's not really great. I've not seen anything from Brady Tkachuk.
He's annoying. That's what you want.
So is Marchand. You have that.
Yes.
Bennett's annoying. You have that too.
So now you got talent and these annoying players on your team. I think they built for the playoffs.
Columbus up here, so that's that round number 1 here at pick 14.
NHL draft, the Columbus Blue Jackets select from Boston College, Oscar Bettman.
That's a good pick. Oscar Hemming is 6'4", 204 pounds. For a Columbus team that could use some more scoring punch. Again, 17 years of age. I don't think he's going to play right away for Columbus, but that's a young core there in Columbus that it'll look really, really good when they don't make the playoffs.
And did you hear that there was Werenski talks about him maybe getting moved?
That would be the dumbest.
Yeah, that would. I don't know if it was like true rumors or not.
Columbus has to figure out some way. If that's the case, you can't lose stars in Columbus. There's no reason to go to Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's a college state to begin with. First and foremost, you're in a situation where you're in proximity with the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers. There's some natural rivalries there. You got to keep a guy like Werenski.
Yeah, you do. You do.
But that being said, back to Florida for a second. I just think that there wasn't a pressing need there in the top 6. You had the top 6. You had enough scoring. This is just to appease Matthew and get Brady out of Ottawa. Who, I mean, I don't blame him for wanting to leave Ottawa, let's be honest. But this is a situation now where we're seeing, Americans leaving Canada here in droves. So it's a big problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And he's a captain of a Canadian team leaving. So we saw it with Vancouver. Quinn Hughes won it out. Maybe that was more of like what direction the team was going. But this one with the Ottawa,
all respect to Quinn Hughes, he gave Vancouver a lot of time to get the ship in the right direction. Okay? The Vancouver management and ownership have dropped the ball on this team the past 8 years. We had more All-Stars on our team 2 years ago than any other team representing the All-Star game. And we managed to get rid of all of them. All of them.
So 2 things on this. Management at fault for both.
Awful.
No, awful for both sides because first they couldn't build around him. They did not bring in enough. But Quinn Hughes pretty much told them, I'm not going to stay. And then after, they're still trying to cater to him. Also management fault. Like, if you know your best player, your captain, is not going to re-sign with you, why are you making moves to try to get him to stay now? And why not just build for the future and start, okay, you're not going to stay here. Okay, we're not going to bring in this guy. We're going to get more draft picks.
I don't want to keep harping on the Canucks here because they're awful. But I will say this, I've heard this argument about a guy like Quinn Hughes saying that he was going to leave. If you get up a team that is competitive, I don't care where you are in the spectrum of the NHL, the player is going to extend his stay there if he feels like he's got a shot to win. Quinn Hughes may want to very well said, I'm not going to be staying. But when you have a dumpster fire of what the management has been able to do there, by the way, an overrated management, for whatever reason got touted to be the guys who were going to right this ship, with an incompetent owner, the worst owner in sports.
And that's the problem with Vancouver. Yeah. It's the owner.
So now you have this issue without pieces to help support the second, if not first best defenseman in the league right now, top 3.
Second.
Okay, who's first?
Makar.
Werenski just won the Norris.
Makar's
still better. Makar's still better than Werenski. Werenski just won the call. So,
of course you're going to take the American guy, but
of course I'm going to take the American guy. Yeah, because I want to be American, Harp. So this is the issue. If Pettersson was 140-point centerman, 120, hell, even 100-point superstar. If Miller didn't have a massive temper and didn't need to go to anger management to get paid $8 million to play a kid's game, grow up, okay? If we had maybe, I think the defense was already locked in. If they found a way to keep Bozo McGee there in Boston, I really thought that was a huge locker room issue to move him along. Who was the defenseman they had? Zadorov.
Yeah.
Great glue guy.
Yeah.
If Demko was healthy at any point, if this team was not just a one and done in the second round against what was eventually a Stanley Cup finalist, then Quinn Hughes would have been a Vancouver Canuck. But you went from losing to the second round in 2.5 short years to being awful. The worst organization statistically in the league. And I thought that was the biggest drop-off. So why would he stay? Why would someone like that stay?
But okay, if I'm already going to tell you I'm leaving, why are you going to try to force or like try to prove to me to stay now at this point? Why not build for the future? That's where the management really messed up. Yeah. I think is because you couldn't build for him. Why are you trying to do stuff for him now? Why not think about the organization rather than one single player?
Regardless of what you think of
And they got a great package for him at that time for Quinn Hughes.
Sure.
But they could have done a lot more, and not brought in other guys and picked up younger guys and draft picks.
And also, maybe moving on from a guy like Pettersson sooner. If you look at that package that Carolina was, imagine if Carolina made that deal. Oh my God, they would not have won a Stanley Cup.
So yeah, okay. Carolina side, yes, they probably would. I mean, who knows? We don't know. We don't
Definitely don't.
We don't know.
Definitely don't.
But the Vancouver side, what was the deal? It was it for Aho you're talking about, or for Stakehoven? Because there was both of their names were out there.
Stankhoven wasn't for Stankhoven, so it was Aho, I think another prospect and a pick for Pettersson.
Yeah, I mean,
After Pettersson was coming off of his 90-point campaign when he was still considered a top line center.
I think I'm
Please
always
don't finish that sentence.
I'm always going to be positive against Vancouver and Petey, but I think Petey's he's gonna have a bounce back year. I mean, bounce back 2 years
In Ottawa. Because those first rounders are coming to us.
Okay, if you are going to make a deal for him, you better be getting a big package, because
I'd hope so.
There's a lot of potential with Petey. I think it still needs to be tapped. But another thing is, it kind of makes sense now to maybe trade him, because you're not going to be a good team for like 2-3 years, and Petey at that time is going to be 30. But anyways, that aside, I think management, like you said, messed up 2 ways. One, Quinn Hughes, they couldn't build for him. 2, they tried to build for him a little too late.
So we're talking about Matthew Tkachuk, because we're talking about Americans leaving. He left the Calgary Flames, and they made a big trade this week, bringing in Nemec, who I thought honestly has not gotten a fair shake in New Jersey. And I know he's going to be up for a big deal coming up here. And Calgary could use a defense core that they could have some reliability on there, and only some star factor. Because they weren't going to be they made a pick here for Carson Carrolls at number 6, which I think was a great pick. Mm-hmm. But now you have a righty in Nemec and potentially a Carson Carrolls who's a lefty. I think that's going to be a really nice way to set up your defense core. They already have a few guys there who who's the big guy that got that 6'5" defenseman. The name will come to me soon enough. I'll look it up right now. So that's what they're looking to build. They still have some issues up front, but I like that they're building on their defense.
Yeah, I think Calgary made that was a great trade for them and the pick. And they got a good proven goalie as well, Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf and net. So yeah, Calgary's looking. They pick up a couple of forwards, or they bring some forwards up in their system. I think they're going to be up and running before Vancouver, definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. And I like that you mentioned Wolf, because in my mind, Kevin Ball, that's the defenseman I'm thinking of.
Oh, right.
Big 6'4", 6'5", left shot. We got a trade here. Let's take a look. Stand by.
The Anaheim Ducks trade Mason McTavish,
Oh.
St. Louis Book
Oh, wow.
in exchange for picks 15 and 29 in this draft.
Wow.
Anaheim.
Whoa.
Blues in exchange for 15 and 29.
I think that's overpaying for McTavish.
Absolutely overpaying. So this is all in real time here. Mason McTavish moves on from Anaheim for 2 first-round picks in this draft from St. Louis, which I think is an awful trade for St.
Louis.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, that one. Wow. So Anaheim's now on the clock rather than St. Louis.
Yeah. So we're finishing up there with Calgary. Who else was the big trades here this week?
So Brady Tkachuk, and then you got Tuck going to Washington.
Okay, so yeah, break this down for me, because I didn't realize that. I know he was going to free agency, but you say he got traded.
So he got traded for a late round pick. I forgot which round it was, but to Washington, and they did a trade and sign.
Yeah.
So they signed him long term for 8 years as well. And I think this is great for Washington.
Is Washington a contender?
Yes, they are definitely. They got Kyrou from St. Louis.
That's another trade they got. Yeah.
So that was also like this past week. I forgot what the details of that trade were as well. But so now you got Kyrou, you got Tuck, Ovechkin. There's still kind of up in the air if he's going to
their
come
core.
back or
They
not.
have a young core here in Cole Hudson, who's Lane Hudson's brother, plays defense.
Yes, but their forward group is even deeper.
So Ryan Leonard, Protus, and I think I'm
Dubois.
Dubois.
You got Dubois. You got Wilson.
Yeah.
You got Kyrou, and you're adding Tuck as well.
Yeah.
This is a very. These are big guys too. It's
a big team.
It's a very big team, and now like these guys are all power play guys as well. So now you got like a power play 1 and a power play 2 that are going to be. They got waves coming at you instead of like just a top heavy team.
Yeah. I feel like it's interesting to me that
And the Protus brothers, they got both of the Protus brothers, don't they?
I think you might be right. I'm just posting up their roster up right now. So yeah, so I mentioned Ryan Leonard, who I really, really like. They got Ilya Protus, and I don't see he might be in the minors.
Okay.
But one guy who I'm really excited for is Cole Hudson. They brought him in late last year to play, and
he looked good.
Put a few points. Interesting. They have the similar size profile, but I like Tuck. I honestly was hoping that Tuck was going to go to free agency because I thought that maybe the Canucks should take a run at him. Anywhere Tuck goes, he produces. He's one of those guys who makes guys around him better too. That Buffalo offense, Buffalo is screwed up by letting this guy go. If my honest opinion, if you weren't going to keep this guy, if you had no shot at him whatsoever, but if he's going to a big, fast Washington forward group, it only helps their offense.
So I think the reason why they traded Tuck is because there was no way they were going to be able to re-sign him because they signed Benson to a longer term, 6 years or 7 years. I forgot what it is. But Anaheim's
on the
making
board
their pick
here
now.
In the 2026 NHL draft, the Anaheim Ducks select from the Saginaw Spirit, Nikita Klepov.
So Nikita Klepov is 6 foot, 186, right winger from Saginaw. So for an Anaheim team that doesn't have a problem scoring goals, they're doubling down on more forwards. Honestly, Anaheim probably has the best young core.
Yeah, they do.
Who's developed into. I've probably got even better by moving McTavish on. Yeah, McTavish sucks, man. He sucks. I always say it because I drafted him.
Yeah. I think Anaheim needs these young guys now since they're
going to be spending some capital to bring in some veterans.
Oh, because down what I don't know how far Anaheim and San Jose is, maybe 6 hour difference. San Jose's going to be a very, very tough place to play. Anaheim's got to get more talent.
They'll be a very tough place to play in 3 years. I think they're competitive.
I think next year they're going to be a great team. San Jose just missed the playoffs last year.
On the back of Jesus there, Celebrini. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much you're building for Celebrini. You want him to be like, hey, we're gonna make the playoffs next year. That's why they got all these they got Stenberg to play with them here.
Anaheim is more ready to compete than San Jose. I think Anaheim's probably a year ahead of where San Jose is.
Maybe, but San Jose's not that far behind.
They're not that far behind. They're competitive, but there's a reason they didn't make the playoffs.
I think they make the playoffs this next.
Are they making another pick here, or are they just no?
They're just
talking about
highlights.
Klepov there. Yeah, so that's interesting to me. I feel like Anaheim's making some moves. Let's talk about Vegas. They just sent Dorofeev to
New York to the Rangers.
Vegas has got some huge cap issues, so I guess they had to relieve a guy who had another breakout year, another 30-plus goal season. He had 30-plus goals last year, and again this year. I had him in my draft. I drafted him. I didn't draft him. I dropped the Geeky to pick him up, which was also
what a terrible draw.
It was a horrible mistake also too. But we're not going to talk about that too much. Good for New York.
Good for New York.
I don't think he's a 1A scorer though.
No, he's not a 1A, but he'll be on that second line. Now you got Lafreniere, who's probably going to step up to the top line next year.
by default because he hasn't earned it.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
He's a bust. He's not a star.
He was a first overall
Not a
pick.
star.
He's a first overall pick.
Great.
You
So was I.
you got to give him as much opportunity as you can.
They have.
Because there's got to be a year that he breaks out.
Capo Caco, Lafreniere, 2 busts of players, and the New York Rangers picked them up. So they go and draft and trade their first round because they realize.
Well, they look like the Oilers. This is what the Oilers had. They had so many busts until they got McDavid.
Who was a bust? Taylor Hall is not a bust.
So
Eberle was not a bust.
But these guys didn't stick around in Edmonton. They weren't players that were gonna.
I'll give you Yakupov, and that is about as I'll go.
Yakupov. What's the other guy?
Was Nuja a bust? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was a bust.
Nugent's good. He's a
Not a
steady
bust.
scorer. He's not a bust. But
12 coaches in 5 years. That was the Oilers. Sorry, Steven. 12 coaches in 5 years was the issue for the Edmonton Oilers.
So speaking of coaches for the Edmonton Oilers,
Let's talk about the Oil.
They made a move as well, and I think that probably the dumbest move of the leading to the draft here. They hired Babcock.
I hired Babcock. That's big news of the week here. Look, so what the Oilers have done here, okay? They've taken McDavid, okay? And they've pushed him out the door. That's essentially what they've done here. They've shown McDavid the door, and they've been like, and let us know your comments on this one, because we're very polarized on this issue. They've said to McDavid, get out of here, because this ship is sinking.
But what they're saying is McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman actually wanted Babcock.
Sure.
But so obviously Babcock's not going to pick on them, like just his tendencies. First of all, so they did a whole investigation. He got cleared. He was able to coach. And he had a pretty hard press conference, and he had to answer some tough questions, rightly so.
Yeah, it's always tough for tall white guys in hockey.
I mean, he deserved to be answering those questions. But that being said, they hired him, and it's official now. And who's the guy he picks on? Who's the one guy that Babcock's going to get under his skin, like the Marner in Toronto?
Well, Nurse is leaving, so it's not going to be.
It's not going to be Nurse. It's got to be a young guy, maybe Savoy, someone like that.
I look at Babcock the way I look at Torts. Overrated, really rides his top stars, lets the room dictate the leadership, and really is polarizing to players who do underperform or have come in touted with a reputation and get marginalized, right? So that's my issue. But the difference between Babcock and Torts is that players like Torts.
Yeah,
they don't hate Torts. There's a long list of guys who don't like Babcock. But here's the thing. In terms of resume, what can you say? Gold medalist. They don't get the gold medals as a coach, but he won a gold medal. He won 2 gold medals. And then he also won a Stanley Cup, right? So
I'm not. I think this is a very poor choice by the Oilers.
Yeah, I would say that again. It would be one of those situations where a guy like Babcock has got great teams, so they might have won in spite of him.
Mm-hmm.
That Detroit team, full of veterans, full of guys who pretty much ran the room, and Babcock was just there to help stir the ship a little bit. But once that team was on the back end of their window, it was a different team. And if you had to rely on coaching, it just wasn't there. Columbus, he didn't even coach 1 game in Columbus immensely. It's like, first off, don't go to a player and ask for his phone. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Don't go to anybody and ask for their phone. I need to see your phone. Okay, yeah, I need to see what kind of person you are.
This is what I'm saying about Babcock. Like he's got those the gold medals and the championships under his
Hold that
belt.
thought. We got St. Louis on the board.
Okay.
So St. Louis had a lot of picks in this.
Yeah, so they already picked one. Now they had 15, 16, and 29.
In the 2026 NHL draft, the St. Louis Blues select from the Gillette Ramparts.
Another centerman.
Centerman, 6'4" center, big centerman too. Yeah, from the Quebec League. Good for St. Louis.
Yeah, good for St. Louis.
Yeah, they're having a good round here.
Yeah, so back to Babcock. I just don't think it's It's good for the room to have that controversy coming to your team. Why not go for a more safer pick like Cassidy? Hire him as the coach. I think there's going to be a lot of noise in Edmonton, and it might be the wrong type of noise you want.
I don't think Cassie has gotten permission from Vegas to be an option for some.
Wait it out.
Yeah,
Wait it out.
I suppose maybe this is really one of those situations where it can go really, really well or really poorly, and because Edmonton is probably going to go poorly, but when you have McDavid and Draisaitl, you're going to be very competitive. And to be honest with you, it wasn't so much in the way of player personnel. I think the goaltending is still going to be an issue for Edmonton. It doesn't matter who the coach is, and it doesn't matter who your defense is. You might move off from Nurse, but you got to get a goalie that's going to steal you a game. And I think that's the problem. You can't score and outscore your problems to win a Stanley Cup.
So with all these moves happening now, like you're seeing more of it. There's this whole bunch of talk about Bobrovsky where he's going to go, Hellebuyck where he's going to go. Should Edmonton not be going after these guys hard? Like
Bobrovsky for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think we're talking about Americans leaving Canada. I don't think Hellebuyck wants to play in the Canadian market.
He might go to Florida.
How?
How
would he go to Florida?
I don't know how, but Florida will make it work somehow.
I guess sure, why not? Open the books. Remember how they said we're going to have a salary cap to avoid super teams? Remember that? The whole conversation? Remember the Detroit outspending everybody to beat everyone? And now Florida's the salary cap is the biggest scam in the world. It's the dumbest thing, and this has come to a head now. It took 20 years, but now we're in the same situation we were before. And the only difference now is that you can't have a floor on the salary.
Yeah.
You can't underspend. You have to spend to a certain amount. So even the worst teams in the league who can't get any stars, can't get competitive, still have to go into debt because they have to spend at the floor.
So I think this is like now just talking about like the Americans leaving Americans leaving Canada for America for like all this salary. You get paid more. They were doing what Brady's gonna make in Florida now compared to what he made in Ottawa. The same contract, but he's making $1.5 million more than he did in Ottawa just because of the taxes, all that. Now, I think that's one thing the NHL has to get right is that it shouldn't be that big of a difference. There should be something in place where an incentive for players to want to play in a Canadian market.
Yeah, very true.
And with Hellebuyck, like now obviously he wants out of Winnipeg, or who knows if he does or not. But like him leaving for America as well, like Canadians should do the same thing. I get it, you're not making as much, but play for your own country then if Americans are going to do this.
I'm going to push back. I'm going to say this. When you're a multi-millionaire, okay, you just stop thinking about money. You're not thinking about money anymore. By the way, that's hockey-related salary. What are the ad salaries that he was getting in Ottawa to show up at a Scotiabank commercial or something? I'm sure it was in the millions. Like these guys have side income in the millions of dollars that, and if you have your residence outside of Canada, there are some tax haven benefits to that too.
But these are top players you're talking about. So what about a guy like, let's just say, someone who's fighting for a spot on the roster, but it could be a good up and coming guy. He's going to want to make the most. Look at Robertson.
I think this is a situation where, it really boiled down to, I wanted to play with Matthew and he's in Florida. I think that's what happened there. Matthew, why hasn't Matthews left Toronto yet? Why does
he will? I think he will too.
Okay, but he's played there as long as he has because he likes the market and he gets paid decent coin in terms of advertising money and hockey related income.
He's paid decent coin is the big thing there. I don't think that market he wants that much pressure, the pressure that he got.
He wouldn't have extended if that was the case. He said 4 years.
But he didn't extend 8 years. Why?
No, okay, well, however he extends is besides the point. He still extended. I would argue Matthews has the biggest reason to leave Toronto.
But he was an RFA at the time. He has to extend.
He extended twice. So he had his RFA extended.
Oh, he extended.
Do it
Okay.
twice, yeah. So he had 2 UFA opportunities to extend. Now, granted, 4 years is a shorter window, right? But he gave Toronto the benefit of the doubt. He had Marner, he had Nylander. They had this competitive team. And again, you know, he might like being the biggest star in Ontario, and he is. And you know, for Brady's perspective too, he's in Ottawa. You know, you're gonna get Matthews money too if you re-up and re-sign there. But you have a brother. This is the whole Quinn Hughes thing, right?
Yeah.
He's got 2 brothers in the States. And when you have siblings who are also stars, and if you're playing together, have a legitimate opportunity to win a Stanley Cup, it doesn't matter what you're being paid at that point.
So how bad does this look on the Kachucks, just in general?
Really bad. They suck.
Well, if their dad they had dual citizenship,
Yeah.
and he picked America.
Sure.
Matthew Tkachuk gets drafted by Calgary. He goes to America. Now Brady Tkachuk, the captain of Ottawa, he goes to America. The Tkachuks don't look great here in Canada.
No, I hear they have a podcast, and we're not in direct rivalry with the Tkachuks.
We need their podcast.
I'm sure they don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
I'm
care.
sure that when you're successful and you're in a situation like that, I'm sure you don't care what our dumb, stupid opinion is. So I would say in terms of like movement, let's just circle right back here to the New York Rangers.
So Dorofeyev to
If the Canucks were the worst team in the league, the Rangers weren't too far behind. So now they get Dorofeyev. I think they've traded Panarin, right? So they're trying to replace that goal scoring. But the team blows from tip to tail. That's the issue.
other than goaltending.
Okay.
The goaltending they're pretty secure with Shesterkin.
Yeah, but even if you pay the guy $20 million a year, he's not going to get you into the playoffs by himself.
Yeah.
We saw it with Luongo in Vancouver, right? You can have an all-star goalie. That's only a small part of what makes a championship team.
Yeah.
And Shesterkin's probably looking around. Actually, I don't think he cares. I think him and Kaprizov share the same mindset. I'm getting paid, bro.
Make as much money as you can.
Yeah, exactly. So I like the defense. I never hated the defense for New York. I just think that the direction they're heading offensively, they don't have any bite to their offense.
Yeah.
This is my issue. I don't think Zibanejad is a top line center,
No.
right? I don't think Miller is a top line center.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. His best years were in Vancouver.
Yeah, his best years is definitely in Vancouver.
In Vancouver. So Trocheck, they haven't moved off Trocheck, which I think is good because I think he's a great two-way center.
I think they should though.
Well,
you're not going to.
You don't make that move now. You just brought in Dorofeyev.
Yeah.
You had the chance, but they can't rebuild
Yeah, they can't.
because they're about half their ticket sales are going to Shesterkin, and he's not giving that money back.
No, he's not.
He doesn't want to go anywhere else. You think he's gonna waive his trade clause to leave New York, who he just fleeced for $14 million a year? No shot. He's like, I'm not leaving. You can do whatever you want. But I'm not leaving.
I'm staying right here.
And if I was going to leave it anywhere, I'd go to Florida.
Yeah.
That is it. It's New York or Florida. That is it. So, you got a defense. You got a good back end. I don't think they've ever really had a top line center to hang their hat with since, I don't know, Scott Gomez, since Chris Drury. Like those days, like they haven't had that.
Yeah, they haven't.
Brad Richards, on their last Stanley Cup run, they had a leadership of Brad Richards, Chris Drury, going up against the LA Kings, right?
Right. That's when LA won in.
They won.
They won their back to back. That was their back to back, wasn't it?
They won with Chicago.
Oh, it was
Chicago, LA,
yeah,
Chicago,
right,
LA.
right. Yeah.
So those two teams owned the league at the time.
Yeah.
Right. So you had John Tortorella. You had Alain Vigneault coaching the Rangers, and then you had Darryl Sutter coaching the LA Kings at that time. So that was a good team. Rick Nash, they brought in Rick Nash for that team as well to get some scoring punch for the Rangers. Huge mistake. He was awful.
It was his later years. What a great player he was, but he really dropped off.
Yeah. Then that was in the heyday of Lundqvist, right? So you had a great goalie.
Oh, we got a trade.
We had a trade.
Maybe the Canucks.
Number 17 in this year's draft to the Utah Mammoth.
Utah.
Exchange for picks 19 and 83 in this year's draft. Kings pick 17 to Utah.
So Utah really wanted a guy because they're only going down 2 picks. They were at 19 and they go to 17.
Yeah.
There's a guy that they really want.
I guess so, but it looks like they're picking at 17.
They don't like Bettman. It's Bettman. They're trading. They're booing Bettman.
They're booing Bettman. It's a running joke. I think he likes it, but he also is aware.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it now. Maybe not at the beginning, but he loves it now.
Yeah. So if I'm New York, my issue is I don't have a number 1 centerman. You probably have some stuff at the wing here to get you some goals, but it would be really interesting to see what they do to revitalize that those top 2 centerman positions. But it seems like there's trades abound. There's not a lot out there. My theory with why there's so many trades right now is because nobody is going to free agency. Everyone's either re-signing with their team for big money
Or getting traded before.
Exactly. And the cap is going up.
Yeah.
And up, and there's only so much room. Like you could now potentially have a competitive team with $5-6 million of room in the cap still.
Yeah.
Carolina just
Look
won
at
the cup.
Kings, yeah.
They had $12 million of space.
Yeah.
So that's crazy to me to see that. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of trades.
Yeah, you're right. The cap going up, it is easier to move players and to sign players.
Yeah.
And now you can build super teams.
I mean, it looks like it. I mean, Florida, I thought was the best team not in the playoffs this year. Would have been a different Eastern Conference if they were. And you're right. Barkov was out, right? So Barkov, and the reason I know he was out, because I drafted him. I drafted him first overall.
And
I took him.
What, did he get injured in practice?
No, he went to Chuck E. Cheese, and he hurt his foot. And that was it.
He was done for the year.
I didn't even get 1 minute of ice time with him. Not 1 point. He didn't contribute anything to my team. Anyway, so besides Barkov blowing, that team healthy really shifts.
They gotta be a cup favorite now.
Yeah,
Top
them
2.
and Carolina. Carolina has a lot of room to play here.
Yeah.
They could add to a team that's gonna come back, right? So it really shifts the powers. But let us know your thoughts. What do you guys think? You know, we're watching the first round here of the draft, but let us know what you think is going to be like a big turning point for this offseason. Who are the winners? Who are the losers? And like and subscribe. You know, if you like this setup, you like watching us this way,
Comment.
you like comment. Do you like more of like an isolated where we're trying to do cameras, maybe it's on each of us, and then we'll have interchanging editing, or maybe we'll have side-by-side editing, or us? Do you want us to do Zoom calls? Do you want us to wear makeup? Do you want us to wear clown outfits? Are we just idiots to you people, and we're just wasting our time, okay? We're just dumb, stupid fans. Let us know your thoughts on that, all right? Harp, Arrow, DumbFans.